is Nate Smith. I'm in Austin, Texas, doing volumes with Ezra Masch at Distribution Hall, here with Sensory Percussion, Evans Drumheads. We're gonna have a ball. I met Ezra, I think it was 2020, 2021. We did a show in Philly at a space called the Icebox. It was just the lights and the drums. And so I'm actually really excited to do it tonight and integrate this other means of expression, the sensory percussion, because ultimately it's all about expression. Like it's all about trying to get to something that's really beautiful for the audience and for the artists too. I haven't used much electronics in my drumming. I'm usually playing kind of just a raw kit, mic'd up, you know. When I've been on tour with Brittany Howard, I've been using some drum triggers that have triggered samples, but nothing this intensive. In terms of the sensory percussion presets, the one I'm using is Cataratas. It's like a harp sample. It's got a couple of chord samples and like this sort of arpeggiating harp sound that kind of randomly works with the mesh heads. The more you play it, the harder you play it, it switches notes. It's really cool that it kind of feeds my imagination as I'm playing it, and I can really react to the sound in the moment. So I'm looking forward to this, to really explore it. This will probably be the first time I've played it in front of an audience. So that's cool. The audience is a part of the equation too. Mechanically, it kind of feels the same because it's the same sort of mesh head design, but what I'm actually noticing now is there seems to be a greater breadth of expression, possibilities of expression with it, dynamic expression. There's a lot more rebound on the mesh heads, so I have to kind of keep that in mind as I'm playing. I have to kind of keep in mind that these mesh heads are very sensitive to the velocity that I'm playing, and it takes some getting used to. So I know what regular drums feel like and sound like, acoustic drums feel like and sound like. It takes a little bit of a gear shift in my mind to adjust to this idea of a mesh drum that's still producing sound. I can't hear the sound without the in-ear monitors or the speakers. So it's kind of like playing, I used to practice on pillows when I was playing as a kid. So there's this kind of, it takes me back to that where there's this kind of sort of delayed reaction to the sound. So that takes some getting used to, but once it's mixed and set up, it just becomes an extension of the instrument, So maybe, this sound check was great for me. Now I know what to expect, but I do think there's a little bit of a curve for me getting from playing an acoustic drum to a mesh head drum. The more I play it, the more I like it. So there are a lot of possibilities, creative possibilities with this technology. I don't know how differently I'm gonna approach the show. I think I wanna try to play it as naturally as I would play it. Like I wanna just think of the sensory percussion as another instrument, which it is. You can kind of get caught up in the technology of it, making sure that you're using it correctly, hitting the right zones, all that stuff, but ultimately it's about expressing something. So I'm just kind of hoping to play these mesh drums as regular drums that have really cool, unique sounds. So I can just get to something that the audience and I can discover together.
All right, without further ado, I want to welcome to the kid, Mr. Nate Smith!
So I actually took a few samples for tonight's show from different musicians who've inspired me, artists who've inspired me. So there are some voiceover samples. There's a cool sample from Betty Carter, who I got to play with before she passed away.
I'm out here alone telling you guys guys to be yourselves. And the environment is telling you that you gotta do this, and you gotta do this, and you gotta. And you don't gotta. And just by dealing with this music the way we've been dealing with it, should let you know that if I can be new every night, you can be new. Because we are new all the time.
And there's another great quote from Chick Corea that I'm using about beauty and how a musician is supposed to create things that are beautiful to them.
As far as music itself goes, you know, the simplest thing to forget is that what music is about, and any kind of art form is about, is creating the kind of things that you think are beautiful. In other words, when you sit as a piano player and you're creating, you have to learn to be certain about what you like, not what you think sounds good to someone else. So the first thing is you have to learn your own heart, your own mind about what sounds. So whatever you think is beautiful, that's what's beautiful. So you have to pursue that.
I think that's what Ezra has done with this. He created something that was beautiful to him first, and now we get to share the beauty too, you know, which is very cool. I am both the artist and the fan while I'm doing it. You know, I feel like I'm playing the show and I'm also watching the show. You know, so it's just fun. It's just fun, and I think that's what it should be. cool. It felt really cool. It was a lot of fun. It really opened up my mind in terms of song form, using the samples to create a form of a composition. For one of the pieces, I used 6 different Rhodes samples, all major 7 chords. What I wanted to do was kind of think, okay, so if I play these in a sequence, it's one thing. If for some reason they get out of sequence, like if I hit it and it doesn't react, and then it skips to the next chord, or maybe I hit it twice and it skips really fast, I have to start thinking differently about the form, like how the chords cycle, So I'm always thinking about the musical expression, the musical application. The technology is one thing, but you always in the moment have to make musical decisions about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna react, So that to me was like, there are so many possibilities, it can be overwhelming, but that's why I wanted to kind of limit the number of, for that particular patch, I wanted to limit the number of options I had. So I could just, can you tell a story with 6 samples, and 3 drums? This would be a fantastic system for like a one-man show, like taking song stems, audio stems, triggering them, playing entire songs just at the drum kit. It vastly expands the possibilities of what you can do as one musician with a drum kit. It does open up your mind to a lot of different possibilities.